Hey friends, my name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Welcome to Whoop Wednesday. We're comparing the three best, the three best 65mm whoops tonight. NBD Hummingbird V4, BetaFPV Air 65, Happy Model Mobula6 2024. And we're going to talk about which ones are for who. I'll spoil it a little bit. All three of them are awesome. There's absolutely no reason not to get any of them. You will be thrilled with each of them. There are subtle things that are obviously different between them. But all three of them are phenomenal. We're super lucky to have three rigs that are this lightweight and seemingly this durable. Woo! Look at that. I just made a haircut appointment. Get this shit figured out for Saturday. In the chat, Raised FPV was first, Cole Powers, Levster, Spaceman Spiff, Mike K, Everyday with Bruno, FizzPV, JMP FPV, Levster, Alley Cat, Render, Yin Yang, Chris Mel, Cloudhopper, Raised Render, Andrew Taylor, Doubles, McMucus, Craig, Great Scott, Andrew Taylor, Alley Cat. What's up, friends? Thanks for coming. I'm so unbelievably busy. So those of you that have been around a little bit remember, like a month or two ago, those of you that watch all the live streams, I should say, I had a company contact me and say that they wanted me to build them long range-ish. They didn't need to be long range, as I found out, but long range quads with all of the different video systems and all of the different transmitter links. And because they have some kind of countermeasure that they want to test out. And so, long story short, I had, I can't build all that. I hate building too. I had 533 build them all for them. Well, they're all now here. I have all 6 of these and all the goggles that I need, transmitter, all the shit. And I need to get it all charged, powered up, and like basically ready to go. They're going to hire a pilot local to them. They're in Texas. They're going to hire a pilot, a pirate, local to them to do the flying. They initially said like, "Oh, we want you to train one of our guys here." I was like, "Okay, great." So we're gonna have to work together for at least like a half an hour to an hour a day, pretty much every day for a couple of months. Does that work for you? And it was just like, they actually didn't even bother responding. I was like, okay, good, because that's a nightmare. And so yeah, they're gonna hire a local pilot, but I got to get everything bound, set the transmitter up, all the stuff, so that yeah, they're pretty much ready to go. So there's that, and that's been taking up a ton of my time, and I still have lots left to do with it. But I'm doing a thing. They're paying me. In the chat, if you want to talk directly to me, type CiottiFPV in your chat message. If you want to get somebody else's attention, type their name. If somebody else types your name in chat, it'll light up an orange. You can type your own name in chat and see what it looks like. It's orange. Raised FPV says, Ciotti, hope you're doing well, brother. I'm doing all right. I've been kind of bouncing back and forth between horrified and somewhat okay, I guess. Craig says, howdy, everyone. So excited for this comparison. Yeah, it should be cool. I've flown all three of them enough where I kind of know what's what. But it's still really fun to do these kind of smackdowns. I guess I should put some batteries on the charger, huh? That would probably help with the testing a little bit, wouldn't it? I'm going to use all BetaFPV lava batteries because this is the most matched set of batteries that I've got. BetaFPV has sent me these lava batteries around the same amount of time, and I really only ever use them for chasing the RC drifts cars. So for many, many, many months, they didn't get used at all when they were changing locations. And when they do get used, I like run them all and then put them all away, and then run them all again, put them all away. There's not like a couple batteries that get used more than any of the others, and so that makes these batteries kind of perfect for testing. So that in theory, each battery that you put onto the rig is roughly the same, but I am actually taking a quick look to make sure they're all in the same batch. Whenever I get batteries, I take a metallic Sharpie. You can get a little kit of metallic Sharpies. It comes with red, blue, green, silver, and gold. And you put a little bit of a color. You pick a color, and then every set of batteries you get, usually like 5 or 6 at a time, you put that color up here. Up here is important because you don't touch this part. If you put them over here or on the body, it's going to rub off. So you put it up here next to the BT 2.0 so it doesn't rub off. And so see, this one's green. So I'm not going to use this one. Here's another blue one. So all 6 of these batteries came from the same batch. I've had them the same amount of time. And so when you're doing testing, you can put a whole bunch of batteries that are roughly, that have been cycled roughly the same number of times through the rigs that you're testing. And that's going to be a lot more reliable than just using any old batteries. There's inevitably like 1 or 2 batteries that are floating around that have been run really hard, or they've been over discharged or something like that. That's kind of the other thing. These batteries, when I chase the RC drift cars, if one of these batteries feels weird, I'll put it aside or just throw it away. I'm running just one after the next, after the next, after the next on the same builds. So if I run one battery and it only gets like a minute and a half of runtime, I'm like, yeah, this battery's getting old, internal resistance problems, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, there you go. You should do that because eventually you'll want to test something. And when you have a bad battery involved in the test, it really throws things off. And it's kind of confusing too. Look, all right, so here's the full story. I ordered myself this iPhone 15 case. I just searched for like carbon fiber phone case, and this one was cheap. It's all fake carbon fiber, fake wood, fake whatever the hell this vinyl material is up here. Ordered this phone case, and I ordered Florence a phone case at the same time, just like a clear plastic one, and her phone case got delayed and delayed and delayed. The shipping got delayed and delayed and delayed. So I gave her this phone case to use at school so that she didn't ruin her new iPhone 15 that her and I got at the same time. They kept delaying the shipping of her case, so she kept having my case, and I'm running around with a phone with no case on it, which is insane. 2 nights ago, I finally got fed up because they delayed. They said it wasn't going to be here until this Friday. I'm like, screw it. I went on the internet. I typed in, 3D printed iPhone 15 cases, and I found one. And I fired up the printer, and I made a 3D printed case. And then I put it on the phone, and it was like kind of loose. It doesn't have much of like a lip up here, so it would just like kind of fall off the phone a little bit. And I was like, well, I can't have that. So I went in and I changed the scale. I scaled it down to 98% on this axis and this axis. And I printed that one out, and then it was too small and it wouldn't close. Like you'd put one side on and the other side would peel off. So then I changed the scale to 99, and I printed it standing up, which was kind of cool. But then it was still too small. As all that was going on, the order shows up at the front door. So I didn't need to do any of this. But yeah, if you have an iPhone 15 and you're desperate for a case that doesn't fit quite right, I've got 3 of them. One of them's too big and the other 2 are too small. So you let me know if you want them. Otherwise, they're going in my bag of waste TPU that will get sent to someone to melt them down into a reuse, And then, look, so Timmons made me a couple of these awesome, so they're stickers, but they're like metallic-backed stickers. I think they might be like laser engraved. And they have that, like, they have that Da Vinci quote that's not actually a Da Vinci quote. Once you've tasted flight, you'll forever walk the earth with your eyes turned skyward, for there you have been, and there you will always love to return. So I put that down here. Looks kind of cool. And then I was antsy, so I wanted to put something up here. I don't think this is going to stay, though. I think I need something taller up here. But yeah. Very exciting, I know. So there's that, which is fun. And I've also been playing around with the, hang on. There it is. I had to just stop. I was getting super burned out and angry. So I snagged the MacBook Pro that Matthew Wegner sent me, and finally actually opened it up and started clicking buttons on it. And it's amazing. Thank you so much, dude. This is outrageously generous. And he included a 3D printed piece of artwork, which is just insane. This must have been done on a printer with like an AMS style setup, because there's 4 different colors of 3D print, and it's just crazy. This is like really neat when you look at it with some sort of magnification. You can like see the little layers. Let me see if this will work. Yeah, see that? Isn't that cool? Really neat stuff. Right? Some cool, like, abstract, funky things going on. So yeah, neat stuff, man. A new medium. A new art medium. And I would assume that, like, the layers, the texture, like, if you were to design this on a screen, which is 2-dimensional, I guess you would just use 4 colors. And then what's kind of cool is when it prints, the texture appears, right? Wherever red shows up, it's the second highest texture. Wherever white is, that's the tallest. Um, Pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. It catches light a little bit differently at different angles. Slick stuff. Thank you so much, dude. This very well may replace the Mac Mini. I am setting this up from scratch, from absolute scratch, installing programs one by one by one by one, because I am having some really weird hard drive issues on this Mac Mini. At one point, I installed. Shout out to Frank Nicholas for giving me a lot of ideas with trying to figure this shit out. At one point, I installed a program called Amphetamine when I was trying to get the hard drive enclosure that failed to stop spinning the drives down. It would spin the drives up and spin the drives down far too often. And I did uninstall that, but I get a weird feeling that maybe there's something going on from that. I've also had other software over the past few years that I've had this computer that I've installed and uninstalled, and you know, there could be some weirdness kind of hanging out. So yeah, this laptop I'm just doing from absolute scratch, fresh install, fresh everything, and yeah, it's faster than the Mac Mini, which is absolutely insane. If I do switch to this instead of the Mac Mini, I will unfortunately have to get rid of this 23-inch old school Mac monitor here, which makes me super sad because this monitor, I have a past with this monitor. I bought it a long time ago when I was like, I don't know. This monitor has sentimental value, but it's an old ass monitor. I also have a much newer one that I got from Facebook Marketplace not too long ago, and this monitor is like so much better, a little bit bigger as well. The laptop is a 16-inch, so it would probably drop like pretty much right here. I would move this hub over a little bit. And so yeah, it would drop right here, get a little dock, good to go. So yeah, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what to do. And I would lose a little bit of real estate, right? Going from like 23 to 16. And I do use this. This is where the chat lives. And then I always have like 3 or 4 other windows layered up here, like Discord and mail and other stuff. So I don't know. I don't know what to do, but I'm going to slowly go through this laptop and install things one by one, and then we'll see. It would be pretty fucking wild to have the laptop drive all this stuff, and again, it is faster. And then to be able to like pick that laptop up and go somewhere, and if there's half decent internet, be able to live stream from there, because it's you know, my regular OBS that I use 4 times a week, yada yada yada, as well as all my editing software, all that kind of jazz, right? Like that would be pretty insane. So yeah, we'll see. And then the Mac Mini can be like the most I would probably actually sell it, but technically I could like hook it up to the TV or whatever and have the most overpowered media center ever. That seems pretty insane, so I would probably just sell it. But yeah, things are happening. Many things. There you go. There's all of the non-FPV stuff. This is the shirt of the day. Only Miata nerds will understand this. These are the 4 different generations of Miata. First generation with the pop-up headlights. My second generation that I've got. Third generation that everybody makes fun of. And then the amazing new generation. And the element number is the year that they started making them. They made the first generation starting in 1989, second generation starting in 98, 2005, 2015, and then the bottom are the weights, the curb weights, 2,120 pounds, 2348, although mine's a little bit lighter than that. The third generation got fat, 2450, and then unbelievably, one of the first times ever, the same production run of a car actually got lighter weight. The current generation is lighter weight than the heavier NBs. Mine's actually a little bit lighter. There you go. There's some Miata nerddom for you. What else is happening? What else is happening? Oh, God. OWC hard drive enclosures are really kind of putting me through the blender. Yeah, so I bought 2 OWC hard drive enclosures, both of them touting like mega fast speeds, USB 3.2, I think, speeds, which is close to Thunderbolt. It's basically Thunderbolt. I bought 2 enclosures. One was $60, one was $150. The $150 one specifically says Thunderbolt. The $60 one did not specifically say that. It turns out they're both the same speed. With spinning hard drives, it doesn't, the speed difference doesn't matter. But God forbid I ever put a faster hard drive in them. Yeah. The first one that showed up was the $150 one. The other thing is that it has a hub built into it. So you hook it up, and then it's got a couple of USB 3.2 compatible ports on the back of it. Kind of cool, whatever. When I talked to OWC about it, they actually said that neither one of them are Thunderbolt, which was kind of annoying because the only reason that I got the $150 one is that it specifically said Thunderbolt, and Frank told me that, you know, it's kind of worth it to do that. And he's right, and I'm glad that I did, but as it turns out, they're both the exact same speed, so that's kind of annoying. But the really annoying thing, the cheap one showed up first, and the drives keep dropping. It's fast, but yeah, like every time I go to sleep and wake back up, the drives drop, and you have to cycle the power on it to get them to show back up. But just sitting here for like a half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour and a half, the drives would just drop, and then you got to cycle power to get them turned back on. So talk to OWC about it. They're like, yeah, it's probably broken, but send us this, send us that. They're now doing an RMA for it. Well, I was waiting for the other drive to show up along with Florence's cell phone case. Well, that shows up either yesterday or the day before. Great. This one's more expensive. It's probably better. Maybe it's even faster. So I skipped this part. I did a bunch of speed tests on both of them. I did speed tests with the regular spinning drives and a really fast SSD drive. And I still have to do one more speed test. I have this other hard drive enclosure that's like a little toaster oven. You just drop the hard drive down into the top of it. No fan, no bullshit. Super cheap, like $40 or something. Which has been like just rocking. It just works. It just works. It's not quite as fast as these though. With the spinning drives, there's absolutely no difference in speed. But with the SSD, on the cheap, shitty white hub, I'm getting 358 right, I want to say. I might get these backwards, but 358 and 363, write and read, or read and write. And then when I put it into the Pro OWC with the 3-port hub, I'm getting 405 and 450. Not that much faster, but faster. Like, I'm tempted to just get another one of these little white ones that just works, and it's super cheap. But a little bit faster in the OWC drive. So the one drive is needing to be RMA'd. The other drive shows up the other day. I hook it up. It's not disconnecting, but it's sitting here spinning the drives up and down and up and down and up and down. I'm trying to watch TV last night, and every like 5 or 10 minutes, and it didn't matter if the computer was sleeping, it didn't matter if the screensaver was on, it did not matter. It spins the drives up for like a minute, and then it spins them back down, and it makes a weird noise when it spins them back down. So like I at this point I think I'm just gonna kind of return both of them and maybe just get another one of these white drives, and like it's not quite as quick with the SSD, but it's still really fast, and with the spinning drives it's plenty fast. It's the same speed as these OWC drives. So I'm like I have one more speed test to do. I have to put the SSD drive in the OWC drive that's being RMA'd, and I'm going to see if it's got the same speed in that as it does in the fancy one that specifically said Thunderbolt. And yeah, we'll see. And I've tried hooking them up to Frank Nicholas also sent me a couple of docks that are Thunderbolt capable. I've tried hooking these things up to the Thunderbolt docks directly to the computer. I've tried different cables, no difference. I've totally figured out my dock situation. I'm not losing any speed anywhere, which is awesome. And so yeah, I'm making progress for sure, but both of these OWC drives are having issues, and I'm kind of like, you know, I'm really tempted to return this $60 one and then get another one of those, because $60 is not that much more expensive than this shitty little white one. But I got to do the speed test on it. But at the same time, I'm just like, yo, I got 2 drives from these people, 2 enclosures from these people, and they're both broken. Why am I going to get a third drive? Like, I'm specifically trying to get away from stuff that's breaking. And so it's really hard having a, you know, 2 out of 2 bad shit experience with a company to, you know, and they're just enclosures, right? Like, they just are supposed to spin the fucking drives up, right? I'm using I'm using hard drives that when I put them into this $40 or $50 white enclosure are completely fine. So it's just like, I don't know, man. The only thing I don't like about the white enclosure is that it doesn't have any kind of cooling. The drives are just like out in the air, so they're kind of air cooling themselves, but I like the idea of these OWC drives because they've got a fan in the back and they're going to pull air across them. I don't know. So, yeah. That's been a little frustrating, but I'm trying my best. I'm doing the things. All right, let me get caught up on chat here. Alley Cat says, nice hair. Who you doing? Maggie. That's who I'm doing. Ray's FPV says, you should see my mountain man beard, bro. Speaking of haircuts, nice. Ray's also says, give us more NDA info on this company. I put the company up on the live stream a while ago. They're just some random, I don't know. They're called Sky something or other. It's on their website is very like. Their website was clearly like made by somebody that doesn't. They very obviously like typed up a bunch of corporate like, you know, nonsense and then gave it to someone or a company that designed them a website. So it has every fucking buzzword on it, and it's one of these. Yeah, it's not important though. Drublik says, "Good job at the crit. I miss racing. Thank you, man." B-Mud, did you watch the? Where were you able to watch the live stream? Did it? I don't think it's back up on YouTube, is it? It got taken down for a copyright claim. Or did it get put back up? I would love for it to be back up. Crit racing? Sunny King, Criterium Cup. Is it back up? Streamed 4 days ago? Yeah, cool. There's your boy. It's either back up or maybe they put it up somewhere else. Here you guys go. I don't think this is the full broadcast. This is only 2 hours and 45 minutes. So this is just the 2 pro races, which is actually what you want. That's where they're doing like all the work with the yeah, this is what you want to watch anyway. Yeah, look at your boy. There you guys go. You can watch it if you want. Very windy that day. You'll see. B-Mud Skipper says, I saw a really cool trick to straighten prop shafts. Use a pin vise on the shaft and spin it to see the run out on the end of the handle. The length increases the run out to see easily by eye. I do that same thing, but I do it like in the duct. I just kind of hold. You can just find like a reference point, and like I'll put my palms down on the desk so that my hands don't move much, and just spin it really slowly and pick your reference point, and then you just spin it and you see if a prop is high or low. You push on it and then you spin it. The hard part is you got to have your hands be steady because your reference point is going to move when you do this. It sounds like you're talking about pretty much the same thing with a pin vise. That's pretty slick. Render says, bought like 20 sets of each of my favorite props, VTXs, extra stack, extra motors, extra battery straps, receivers. Yeah, read all, extra, read all about it. Alex says, keep crushing, brother. Thank you, dude. I'm trying. FizzPV says, when's the next drum stream? Not for a while. I don't play very much. It just sounds so bad. It just sounds like I'm banging on pots and pans because I don't have like a mic set up on them. Craig says, just do a fresh macOS install on your Mac Mini, then do the same as laptop and stuff carefully. Yeah, I don't know. Now that I have these hubs, I keep going back and forth. The laptop should be significantly faster, which would be really, really nice. But yeah, I don't know. I'm figuring it out. Matthew Wagner says, I'm a few minutes back in the buffer still, but that is a piece of my artwork through Hue Forge. What's Hue Forge? Hue Forge. Ah, okay. Very cool. Wow, so you just dump it into this program and it makes it 3D for you. That's pretty cool. Damn. I like it. Super creative stuff. Thank you again, Matthew. Incredibly generous, man. Craig says, I guess you can't do that if you don't have another machine already working, i.e. can't overwrite Mac Mini without something else to use while loading. Yeah, that's why I'm kind of bouncing around a little bit as to what to do. Matthew Wagner says they have a database of filaments and their light transmission distance. Wow, transparency. And they use that info to do the layering calculation. That is nuts. Nate Adams says, did anyone else go to Pyrodrone today? Price increases are real. I have not been, but I just typed it in. Oh yeah. Well, no, that doesn't look that bad. Doesn't look different at all. Set of 07, the new VCI 0702s for $38. That's pretty normal. But apparently the fucking moron is no one could have ever guessed this. He's delaying it. You know, he figured out another way to make a whole bunch of money, and so he did it. You know, him and his friends made tons of money, as they will continue to. You know, that's something that you can do when you. Never mind. What a goddamn nightmare. Every day is a little bit worse than the one right before it. Here's something cool. These new T-mount motors use pins for the holes that we usually put screws in, and then you send an M2 screw down the middle. That's really smart. That's actually really, really, really smart. It makes swapping props twice as fast. I guess that's all it does. It's just better. That's just a better design, you know, than having the double T-mount glop glop. So that's fun. I really like that. I all I want to know is what motor size it is, and it doesn't say anywhere. This 14XX motor. So this is a 1404, I'm guessing. Can you tell us we don't get to know the KV either? We just it says 6S here, but then it says 3S here. I guess we just don't get to know the KV. It's just a KV. You know what I won't buy is this motor, because I don't know the actual size and I don't know the actual KV. So way to go. Way to go for making a motor that I absolutely refuse to buy. I actually really like the bell design of this, and I very well might buy this motor, but I absolutely will not. I absolutely will not. So, good job. As a company that sells things, you've accomplished the one thing that you shouldn't, is that you forced someone to not buy it for no reason. For absolutely no reason. Because you want to be different and just not have a normal naming convention that really does matter. It really does matter what the motor size is and what the KV is. You cannot just say, oh, this motor is for 3S. No. That is dumb. Beyond the bounds of rational thought. I'm going through more and more of the site, and I'm not seeing okay, I see it. I see it. I see it. That's for one motor. So, yeah. That's insane. If you voted for that, not cool. Not cool, man. Wow. Yeah, okay. There it is. I mean, you know, it's one thing to talk about, you know, a 100% tax that we have to pay on anything coming from China, right? That's what it is. Don't use the word tariff. It's a fucking tax. You're paying 100% more, and that money is not going anywhere. It is going to the magical mystery government, and then, you know, the evil people are going to take it. 100% tax on products from China. If you voted for that, and we fucking told you. We fucking told you. And we screamed it from the goddamn rooftops. So, you know, thanks. Frank Nicholas says, clean install is the best way to go with all his issues. USB is not Thunderbolt with spinning hard drives. The hard drives are the slowest and slower than USB. Yeah, that was like my initial. I was just gonna get whatever. Craig says, assume you're talking about spinning drives. Yep. Frank says, all spinning drives are slower than any USB 3 Thunderbolt connection. SATA SSD maxes at about 500. SATA 2 is 6 gigabytes a second. Craig says, what model OWC drives are you talking about? That shouldn't happen unless OS has some odd setting. They are the Mercury Elites, Mercury Pro Duals. And yeah, the guy at OWC agrees that this shouldn't be happening. FizzPV says, I can show you a easy 2 or 3 mic setup that will sound good. Yeah, I don't have the mics. I don't have something to run the mics into either. And yeah, now is not a time to be spending any money on anything. Brandon's Baked Beans thinks the issue with OWC dropping is related to power saving features. That's annoying. Nope, it is not, because I've already done this. I have hard drive. There are 2 or 3 settings, and I have them all correct. I worked through them with the. I didn't need to work through them with the guy from OWC because I had already done them a long time ago when I was dealing with the other enclosure that died. But it's funny. I knew he was going to ask me, and so I was just like, by the way, I have this and this set, and he's like, all right, you know what you're doing. So yeah, it's not that. The drives are broken. The drives are not functioning properly. The one of them unmounting, like he's already setting up the RMA for, and we worked through. I was on the phone with him for about an hour and a half. And then the other one, I'm going to have to start a troubleshoot with him too, but I'm pretty sure it's going to go the same place. Oh, also, I wasted another 2 hours at USPS yesterday. Ryan Harrell cut me, I bought $100 and some worth of 6mm carbon fiber sheets, and then he cut me some 7-inch arms for the Cineglide, and I also bought a sheet of 5mm, and he cut me some regular glide arms. And he accidentally sent them to my old address, and then he put in a redirect, and a week and a half ago, it showed up at my local post office. I went up there to get it, and they said, we can't find it, but we'll deliver it to you on Monday. If you don't get it on Monday, feel free to come back in. I go back in there on Wednesday. They say, we can't find it. Give us your name and number, and we'll call you back. I'm sorry, Friday. I gave him another couple days. I kept looking for it in the mailbox. I go in there on this last Friday. Same deal. They can't find it. They have no idea what's going on. Give us your name and number. We'll call you. As I'm driving home, with my phone on silent, of course, they call me and say, hey, we found it. You can come back and get it. I call them when I get home. I call them back when I get home and see the missed calls, and they say, we'll just have it delivered to you tomorrow. I was like, oh, perfect. Doesn't show up. Saturday doesn't show up. Monday doesn't show up. I go back out there yesterday, and they try to tell me that I signed for it 2 Fridays ago. I'm like, motherfucker, stop giving me a different story every single time I come in here. I absolutely didn't sign for it. If I did sign for it, show me the goddamn thing, because I know you check our IDs every time and we sign your stupid ass digital thing. Oh, well, it doesn't. They tell me that the digital signature doesn't get saved. What the fuck am I signing it for then? What is wrong with you? Give us your name and number. We'll call you back. Guess who didn't call me today? So I've got like $200 worth of custom cut carbon fiber that I've been waiting for a while, because Ryan's cutting machine, the 6mm thick carbon broke the bit, and it took him forever to get a replacement bit, and I still don't have it, and it might be gone forever. I'm starting to feel like they lost it, and they just, they're just looking for ways to blame it on me. I said to him, I said to him yesterday, I was like, as like a last straw, I'm like, well, it sounds like you guys have lost it. Like, how do I put a claim in? And she looks right at me and says, well, you signed. This is after all this. She looks right at me and says, well, you can't put a claim in because you signed for it. And I started to take a breath in to freak out, and I just said, and I just turned and walked away and said, call me when you find it. Like, I'm very much against government agencies being shut down, but I don't know, man. I don't know. The USPS might just be too far gone. There's not a single person in that entire building that cares at all about anyone in any way. They just don't care at all. They don't care about any of us. And like, that's just too much. But there are plenty of other post offices where I'm sure there are people that care. But man. And I'm sure that one of the problems is that they're severely underfunded, right? Like, you go in there and it looks like hell, right? Like, they obviously don't have any money to replace any of the things that are taped down onto the desk with 45 layers of clear packing tape, right? Like, so I get that, but you gotta care at least a little bit about doing your job. You can't just not. Oh boy. 661 says that bell design looks horrible. I disagree. I really like it. I really, really, really like the idea of putting one single M2 screw down the middle. I like that a lot. 661 says a tariff is made to encourage American manufacturing. Yeah, it's not going to work. And it's already working. No, it's not. You know, TBS has made a factory in America who's making their products in here and out. It doesn't matter. They're twice as expensive. The American-made stuff is twice as expensive. It's not going to happen. It's totally unrealistic. He's doing it to make him and his friends a ton of money, and they already have, and they will continue to, and that's fucked up because we have to pay for it. They're taking money from all of us. The richest people in this country are taking money from all of us. It's just, and like every single one of us with 3 brain cells to rub together knew that that's exactly what was going to happen. And we tried to tell. We fucking screamed it from the rooftops. Oh my God. And go figure, it happened. Oh my God. Oh, we must be all soothsayers. We must all have crystal balls. No, we just have functioning human brains, and it happened once already. Craig says, sadly, the USPS is being underfunded so that we complain, and then it can be privatized. FizPV says, while I agree with you on USPS, as someone who lives where they are the only people who deliver to my house, the other ones drop my local post office. Like, we need to have the USPS, but for God's sakes, we have to have people there that even care just a little bit. Just a little bit. 66, yeah, no, it will not. It will not go to America. It will not. It absolutely will not. It will go to him and his cronies. Absolutely guaranteed. Nate Adams says, there's a statement from the CEO. Free shipping is also bumped from $99 to $199. Wow. Wow. Curtis Hayes, that is patently not true. That is just a full-blown lie. There's nothing behind that. Come on, bro. Come on. Get real. All right. Let's move on. 10:48. Perfect. Let's dive into the and I'm caught up on chat, so it's all good. Yeah, bro, that's not true. Watch if you're watching a news outlet that's trying to sell you that, stop watching that news outlet. You're on the wrong side of things. You're being silly, brother. You're being super silly. Batteries are ready to go. What's this one battery doing? What are you sitting at 385 for? Oh, no. Okay. It was just the little display. Hummingbird, Air 65, Meteor? Mobula 6, 2024. Each one of them mildly upgraded. I can't really say that because the Mobula 6 2024 has 40,000 kV motors on it. Here's the thing, though. The 40,000 kV motors that are on here, you can just buy them. Like, you can just go and buy these and then screw them down and plug them in. Like, the fact that they're 40,000 kV, it feels like they're this like super rocket ship, super crazy mod. But they're not. And the fact that they say 40,000 kV on them doesn't really matter. Chris Rosser did some amazing thrust testing with the most recent Tiny Whoop motor thrust testing that he did has almost all of the really, really, really good new motors. And the motors that are on these 3 builds are very close together. And so, yeah, these 3 are all they're all upgraded in some way or another. and I don't necessarily think that they're extreme modifications. I think extreme modifications would be drilling holes in the frame, stuff like that, right? Stuff that like really has negative effects on like the durability, for example, stuff like that. These three all have bolt-on slash solder-on modifications, and so I you could almost say mildly modified on all threes. I think the better thing to say would just be modified. And so that's the first thing we're going to dive into here. Mobula6 2024. Frame has been swapped out for a Newbie Drone Cockroach V3. Motors have been swapped out for the BetaFPV 0702 40,000s. All the propellers on these have been swapped out. I'm running HQ 1.2 by 0.9 by 3 propellers on all three of these. I think these are my favorite props at this point. Stock camera, stock canopy, stock AIO, and then the antenna's been swapped out, but it wasn't on purpose. The UFL broke off. Luckily, it didn't take the pads with it. I had a True RC Singularity floating around that the UFL had broken off, so I direct soldered this. I'd been using this AIO for an RC drift car chasing setup, which is why I put this antenna on it. And it's also why the antenna is all like jankily hanging out the side. It totally works like this, though. It's completely fine sitting out the side. The antenna doesn't really matter. Flying around the house, the antenna barely matters. And so realistically, this is just a Mobula6 2024 with a prop motor and frame swap, right? And those are all super easy to do. It's got I think it comes with A30. I moved it to a BT 2.0 180 degree just because it's a little bit easier. All three of these have this same BT 2.0 plug on them. Air 65 is the most stock. It's the direct soldered Air 65 on the AIO that has the actually it's the Matrix AIO. This is, I think it's the Matrix AIO. They're so similar. It's kind of all the same. CO3 camera, stock canopy, stock frame, Air 65 frame, and then the BetaFPV version 2 motors, which are 0702 27,000 kV, HQ 1.2 by 0.9 by 3 props, micro V antenna, and that's it. So this is the most stock build. This is also the build with direct soldered motors. And so if you're going to have a build with direct soldered motors, as far as I'm concerned, just leave the motors on it. That's, if you buy the Air 65, to me, the idea behind buying this is that you're not going to be tempted to switch the motors out. These BetaFPV motors make great power, and you don't really need to swap them out. And so the Air 65, the biggest thing for this rig is, do you want to not swap motors? Do you want to buy a bind and fly that you bind and fly? And that's it. And that's what you do with it. I think the Air 65 is the one that does that really, really well. Flight characteristics are great. It flies awesome. And the fact that the motors are direct soldered, it's just like, yo, what a pain in the ass to swap the motors out. So don't swap them out, right? Let that be the selling point of this. So we got that. Newbie Drone Hummingbird V4. You have to swap out the battery lead, which is admittedly annoying. It's not the end of the world, though. There are pockets on the side of the board. They're not through holes, easy to solder to. You're good to go. I have E6000, the ELRS antenna, down in the back here. There's a couple little notches that make it super easy to do that. Ultra short from BetaFPV micro V antenna. Brain camera mount. The camera mount setup that it comes with is very heavy. So this is a 3D printed TPU Brain camera mount. I have these for sale. They're not up on the website yet, but if you need them, let me know. The Brain mount is available on Thingiverse. You're not actually buying the mount. You're just buying the 3D printing filament that I use to print it out. And I'm basically selling you the mount for free, and I'm just getting shipping. Same propellers, HQ 1.2 by 0.9 by 3. Stock motors, which are on motor plugs. It's the small motor plugs, though. So you're only going to be able to easily swap newbie drone motors onto here. These motors that it comes with, though, are some of the most powerful motors. So this is another one that you really don't need to swap the motors out. The Mobula6 2024, the motors that it comes with standard are way less powerful than these other two rigs. They're also way more efficient, though. Like way, 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 way more efficient. Swapping onto these 40,000 kV Weebleed motors, this is still probably going to be a more efficient rig than these other two, but it gets the amount of power that this thing makes on par with these two other guys. And yeah, that's about it. I'm super curious to see the runtime differences between these. To be really honest, I think I know how it's going to shake out, but and this is not going to be a scientific test. I don't have a way of like knowing for absolute certain that all these batteries are identical going onto these things. Also, I've tuned each one of these, and so one of them might be a little overtuned, one of them might be a little undertuned. They're all pretty damn close though, and I've put a bunch of batteries through all three of these. So they are all very close in that, like, when I fly builds, if the tune is not up to par, I will push it until it goes a little bit too far, and then I'll back it off. And I've kind of done that with all three of these. So this is absolutely not a scientific test, but look, the data that I've been able to figure out from flying tiny whoops over the last couple of years has exactly matched up with the actual thrust stand efficiency, whatever it may be, data that Rosser has come up with through a ton of testing. And so, and also, to me, like, there are a lot of things that a thrust stand will not tell you, like what a rig is like to fly at 30% throttle, which is where you're at when you're usually kind of just cruising around. And so, the usefulness of the actual scientific kind of testing, I think, is very questionable when, like, outside of racing. For racing, sure, I think it's a lot more important, but for freestyle, I really don't know, man. If you get a component that you fly it and it feels better to you, I think that has, and the runtime is not drastically, like, worthless. I think that's the most important thing. If it feels better to you because it's the color that you like the most, and then you fly better because it makes you feel better, guess what? It doesn't matter, right? If you're flying better, if you're having more fun, the fact that it's your favorite color really did matter. Like, I feel like we dive down this rabbit hole of, like, demanding scientific testing of stuff to validate the way that we feel. And I do too. Like, for the record, like, I am absolutely not immune to that, but yeah, there's more to it than meets the eye. And so, in my opinion, and I'm a little biased, the testing that we do here is extremely valuable, and it is extremely accurate, way more so than you would think. So there you go. Rack says, same here. Chris Rosser's test highlighted the Tiny Whoop 0702 Neon Elements, my all-time favorite indoor freestyle motor. Nice. Yeah, that's one of the motors that got ridiculous efficiency. What the most impressive thing in that testing for me is how efficient the 40,000 kV 0702 Happy Model motor was. Why is this one not spinning freely? Oh, what's happening? What? I changed the props. Did I? Is the C-clip rubbing? What's happening here? you bastard. Hold on. Or is it a bell that's slipping? Bell's not. Oh, yep. Bell's slipping. So I think when I was putting the motor on, I might have pushed the motor shaft down out of the bell. Well, wait a second. No. Nah, 3 of these are... Oh, I changed the motor. I changed the motors, and I think I might have over-tightened the... I think I over-tightened the motor screws. I sure did. Oh, my God. All right, well, we have to do some repairs first. I'm sorry, guys. So, the Newbie Drone Cockroach frames are well worth the annoyance that you're about to see, for the record. But this only happens with Happy Model motors, but Happy Model motors are my favorites. I find them to be more efficient for the same amount of power. I also find that they have the best feel when you're cruising around for freestyle, which could have there's a school of thought that the delta winding method versus the WYE winding method has a lot to do with how a motor feels at low throttle to mid throttle versus high throttle. And the Happy Model motors, I think, are the only WYE ones. I always find them to fly better at that like mid-low cruising throttle, and that's what, that's what the quote-unquote science says as well. So what you have to do is take this and this is what I did not do on this motor. You got to take a 9/64 drill bit and drill out the center hole. The Happy Model motors have a bigger C-clip that sits farther down than any of the other motors. And on this Newbie Drone Cockroach V3 and liteaf frame, the C-clip is a little bit too big after you have... basically what happens is they made the plastic on the motor, the motor base plate where the motor screws down, they made it really thin because that's not like an area that ever breaks. Well, by doing that, if you over tighten the motor screws a little bit, you squish that thin plastic inwards, and it can push against the motor shaft. So like this was totally fine on the previous set of motors, but then I switched the motors and I over tightened these a little bit, and it squished the plastic in, and so I could have probably just backed these off a little bit, but I want this testing to be as good as possible, and so I'm going to do the right thing, and I'm just going to wallow out these center holes a little bit here, and that's going to guarantee that that none of the C-clips are rubbing even a little bit on the frame, because if they were, that would drastically kind of ruin this testing that we're about to do. So it also gives me a chance to kind of show you what goes into just prepping. When you get one of these Newbie Drone V3 or liteaf frames, do this immediately. Take them out of the box and just do this right away. I had gotten in the habit of doing that, but apparently I missed this one. And unfortunately now you guys have to pay the price. Although I guess it's good to have this conversation, so it's not like as annoyed as I am. It's just an opportunity to talk through this because this is important. All right, I didn't lose any screws. I'm gonna go grab my Milwaukee Dremel tool because I think that's gonna be the quickest way. When you do this with I like doing this with the drill bit here because it guarantees that I'm only removing the exact amount of material, which is 9/64. You can also do this with a conical Dremel bit, but you got to be careful because if you remove too much, then you can ruin the frame. And so I like to do it with this, and then it leaves a couple little plastic shards, and then I remove them with the Dremel. So this is like my preferred method. So hold on, let me go grab the Dremel. God, I don't need these goggles. I'll be right back. Oh God, why? All right. Hopefully that's not too obnoxious. It probably is. Sorry for anyone wearing headphones. Take the headphones off. I'll give you a thumbs up when I'll do this so that you can see me doing it, and then you'll know when I've stopped. So this just like melts those little bits of plastic. That's all this guy is really doing. And it just like perfectly clears out the hole. Alright, no big deal. Come on, get out of there. Woo, that's making a screeching sound that's going to make somebody pull their hair out. Woo, boy. Uh-oh. Oh, that is a terrible sound even for me, man. And I don't really have issues with sounds. Oh, boy, why? Why is it making that sound? Stop making that sound. Alright, we're almost there. Yikes, brother. Alright. And there we have it. Any extra little, like, you know, when you use the drill bit, there's like these little things that, little pieces of plastic that can go and push up against the C-clip, which you can't have. Why is there still one over here? What's happening? Last time I did it, that worked so perfectly. Hold on, maybe it's just one little... Okay, yeah, we fine. Yeah, that's kind of like the quickest, cleanest way to do it, is drill bit, 9/64 drill bit, so that you know, I don't know what the metric conversion is of that, so that you make sure you don't move too much material, remove too much material, and then you use a conical Dremel bit, just the tiniest little bit like that. You're not really removing material, you're just getting any little scraps of plastic out of there. That works really well. But, you know, you can still come in here and double check like I am right now. Transmitter's beeping. Teddy comes running over. All right. So let's turn this transmitter off. I completely forgot. Craig says, sounds like the dentist. I'm so sorry for that. Rax correctly saying the way that you tell for motors WIE versus Delta is if there's a little extra piece hanging off. You guys have seen it before. It's on all these Happy Model motors. There's a little tiny bit of shrink wrap. It looks like it looks like they didn't finish the motor in this weird way. It's just like a little extra piece of winding material sticking out that they put a little tiny bit of shrink wrap on. Versus the Delta wound motors do not have that. It's super easy to tell them apart. All right. So now we shall just bolt these motors back down, and that will be good to go. The Happy model, the Newbie drone motors don't have this issue, and nor do the Air 65 motors. They both use tiny little C-clips that are really recessed, that are a total pain in the ass to remove. I actually, admittedly, right now this is annoying, but as soon as I have to remove a bell on a Happy model motor, I'm happy that they use this giant C-clip that's recessed like crazy down the bottom, because it just makes it so much easier to get the bells off. And you might need to take the bells off at one point. If you don't care about money, sure, you can just throw the motor in the dumpster and buy a replacement. But if you fly a lot and crash a lot, you can potentially go through a lot of these little 1mm motor shaft motors. And so being able to swap bells out is pretty nice. You can still do it on the Newbie drone motors and the BetaFPV motors, but it's just a lot harder. It's a lot harder to deal with that tiny little recessed C-clip than it is on these Happy models. Yep, that was the problem. That was absolutely the problem. Let me put another turn in this motor. Come on. I like to make sure these motor wires are nice and twisted up, because I do think that when they're not twisted up, they cause more air resistance. All right. There we go. And oh, I forgot to look at the chat. Cole Power says, give that quad some Novocaine first. Denzel says, sharpen your teeth while you have the Dremel tool out. Craig says, 9/64 is 3.571 millimeters. Thank you, dude. Come on. And then Denzel says, a jib jab. Hell yeah. Don't over tighten them this time, you donkey. There we go. All right, one more, and then the test shall begin. Hopefully all those little shards of plastic haven't gotten in between the bell and the stator or anything weird like that. I've never had that problem before, but this desk is a goddamn mess right now. Usually when I'm working with the Dremel, I do it like over my lap so I can brush it onto the floor and vacuum it up. But this time I wanted to show you guys, and yeah, holy shit, this work mat is covered in little tiny plastic shards right now. It's kind of driving me insane, if I'm totally honest. But that's kind of the only thing I don't like about this silicone work mat, is that because the silicone is grippy, which I love when I'm doing work on stuff and it doesn't slide across it, trying to clean this silicone mat off is really difficult because it's grippy silicone. But what I've realized is the move is you just get it like a little bit wet, and then you wipe it down with your microfiber, which has gone missing. Where the hell's the microfiber? Where the hell is it? I'll use this one from over here. Where'd my microfiber go, though? Yeah, you just get a little bit wet, and then it's much easier to wipe off. Oh my god, that makes me feel way better. It's still like all up in here. Ugh. Yeah, I've made quite the mess. Teddy Spaghetti, what are you doing over there? Keeping the couch warm for me? All right. Ugh. Yes. Yeah, there we go. All better, just for the sake of argument. Yep, good. And good. Cool. All right, people. We're going to start with the one that I just spent all the time on. Mobula6 2024 coming at you. Hold on. I got to unplug and replug this VRX up here. All right. Oh my God, this my workbench was like falling off the fucking table here. That's better. That feels a little safer. Okay. Kick this transmitter back on. What is happening with it? Why are you storage charging? Don't storage charge, you idiot. Tell me this thing wasn't storage charging. Hold on. How did that switch get flipped? Let me just make... Oh, it's been storage charging. Oh my God. Why did it say... This Firefly is acting a little weird. Okay, we gotta wait. These were storage charging for some reason. Well, I've got three batteries here that are storage charged. This is actually interesting. Let's run one battery on each one of these, and it'll be a much shorter runtime, but let's do a little runtime comparison. Let me make sure that the warning voltage is going to come on at the exact same time on all three of these. So, oh, you son of a bitch, Canon. It's coming back up. Come on now. Oh, I clicked off of it too quick. There we go. Okay. All right, that's working too. Super quick though. What the hell? Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. And then I need the little dongly bastard for the BetaFPV rig. Let's get that going while I wait 10 days and nights for Betaflight to open up. Oh, the Air 65 also has 8 total plastic screws holding the motors down. Just the inner screws. You can do it, Betaflight. You can do it. It's gonna be fine. Just open, for God's sakes. Don't tell me to put ads in, YouTube. I don't want your ads. Denzel loves the EOS show. Cold Power says, I've put over a dozen batteries through the Happy Model V4. Have you noticed that it doesn't descend into prop wash when the throttle is dropped to 0? I think anti-gravity might be overactive. That shouldn't be anti-gravity. I haven't noticed that, though. Mine flies totally normal. Also, do you normally get 180, 200 mAh on 300 mAh packs? I don't know what that means. What's that mean? Hummingbird V4 first. We're going to go into power and battery. Minimum cell voltage 3.3. Warning cell voltage 3.4. 3.3, 3.4. Maximum I like to put up to 4.5 just in case you get an overcharged battery a little bit. 3.3, 3.4. I think that's what I normally do, right? I'll tell you in a second. 3.3, 3.4. Right? Mobula6 2024. Oh, come on now. Oh, come on, man. Betaflight, god damn you. Why are you so weird? Oh my god, I'm gonna have to quit out of it and it's gonna take 20 years to restart. Oh boy. Betaflight's gotten worse and worse, man. Come on now. Yeah, 3.3 and 3.4. 3? What? What the hell? 4.5. There we go. How? This is why I wanted to check it. 3.3, 3.4. Why was it? Wow, that was weird. And here's the Air 65. 3.3. 3.4. 4.5. All right. Let's do this. Let's also do a quick. Let's make sure that all the voltage sensing is calibrated on these two. So we're going to plug the same battery into each one of them and make sure in the OSD it says the same thing. So 3.77, 3.78. Call it 3.78. And then we've got 3.78. Fantastic. And happy model. Come on. 3.81. All right, so we need to fix this one. We need to get it to 3.78. I'm glad I checked that. 3.78. We want to do this as quick as possible because the battery will discharge a little bit. So we're going to connect. God damn you. Oh, Betaflight. What is your deal? No rush, Mustang, Nebraska, man. You can actually wait until the following week because I'm going to California. I don't necessarily want it to sit around. All right, so to change that scale, we're going to plug a battery in, and we're going to look right here. See, this goes up to 3.8. We're going to hit scale down to like that, and then I'm going to do it. I want to do it in the OSD because I have the 2 decimal points. So let's see what it says. 3.73. Now it's too low. So that's fine. I just need to go up by 1. By 0.1. That'll bring it right in line. Bring that scale right on up. Power and battery. I went down from 110 to 108. Now I'm going to go in the middle to 109. And that's going to be about as close as it needs to be. Cool. Now those are all good to go. I'm weirdly worried that I didn't save that. Now we're good. 109. Okay. Cool. All set to go. So 3 batteries that are at storage voltage. Yes, I plugged this one battery in a couple of times, but I'll put this battery through the Happy Model rig, which should be the most efficient anyway. It was not plugged in for very long. But I am going to, like, immediately take this thing off. Like, right now. 3.77. Oh, boy. Okay. Well. God damn it. The motors are not spinning the right direction. Or the AIO thinks it's in the wrong direction. So I have to fix this. And that's going to mean that this battery, from that full throttle blast just now, that just ate that battery a little bit. So that's annoying. Jesus Christ, I'm a cracker. Why? I don't understand why the motors are. Betaflight, my man, come on now. Oh my God, is this real? Real life. Nose down, nose up, roll left, roll right, yaw left, yaw right. Okay, yeah, so that's all fine. But the what the hell? Why? Like, in what world? In what world? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. In what world? Start and spin motors. Order 1 is correct. 2 is correct. 3 is correct. 4 is correct. What are you pissed off about? I bet you the other motors I had on there were all backwards. I think I remember the red dots being in the wrong spot. I am really handicapping this rig. I'm still using this same battery on it. Let's see what the let's see where the voltage is at. 3.76. That's not too bad. Oh my god! I see a low battery warning already. Whoa, Teddy. That was when I was jamming pretty good. Boy, I am not used to the sim rig being there. So I did one big full throttle blast. And then I'm just sort of cruising around. I'm going to wait until the low battery is constant, not just when I blip the throttle. You can see the diagonal lines of video noise in here, which is why I'm no longer using this as a drift chasing AIO. Oh, I can't believe I made it through there. Almost constantly on. I want low battery to be on when I'm at a hover. There it is. So like 1:09. Again, this is just like an interim test while we're waiting for those other batteries to charge. Call it 1:10. It hit 1:10. These other batteries are at 4.31. Oh, I'm just going to take... I don't even have to pull the battery out of this. Well, I kind of do anyway. 1:10 with a battery that was down a little bit. Hummingbird V4 next. Oh, I gotta get weights on all these for you guys. Sorry. That's important. Where the hell's the OSD? Oh, I just can't see it. Whoa, okay. Hey. $14 seconds. This test doesn't really work. We need full batteries in these. Let's run this for the same amount of time and we'll see where the voltage is. Oh, I thought I was clear of the couch. So like these less efficient motors are going to pull harder at a hover. I think that's what we're seeing. So... I mean, I just did 53 seconds with these. You're going to see the voltage bounce back up. We'll hook all three of these batteries up to a voltage checker, and that'll give us a little bit of an idea of what we took out of them. So this battery goes here, this battery goes here, and then this one. I'm just going to run all three of them for like a minute or so, and then hopefully by that time these batteries will be fully charged. We'll be able to actually compare. Air 65. 3.79. 3.80. Oh my god. Oh, why? Why? Oh my god, Teddy! I was gonna go there, but he was there. Didn't plan on that, but what the hell. 43, 44. So these are the version 2 BetaFPV 702s. 55, 56. Minute and 2. There it is. Low battery to hover. Minute and 7. So the Hummingbird did the worst, but I think that the I think maybe the CAC firmware might be acting a little funny with the warnings. Maybe it's giving the warnings a little too early. Let me take a look at the tune, make sure I don't have the tune set overactive on it. I don't know if I've put these propellers on it. It might, yeah, there might be something weird there. Hold on, let's just make sure. I want to make sure I don't have. What is this? Why is Betaflight doing this all of a sudden? This is insane. Dan to the Terrible says, you going to visit Brandon's McBean's in Cali or what? I do not have much time. I'm going to be in Long Beach. Where are you at, Brandon? Or any of you guys? Anybody near Long Beach? That's where I'll be. I don't have much time, though. Yeah, no, I don't have the tune cranked way up. Pretty average kind of tune on here. Yeah, all right, no big deal. These batteries are almost done. I can't believe I had it set to storage. Big drive to Long Beach. Yeah, no. Yeah, we're not going to have a vehicle, right? So we're going to be like just Ubering from the hotel, and we're not trying to spend like any money, so yeah. Realistically, like Maggie's going to be at the conference for 3 of these days, and then we're going to have like 2 days together, and she's going to like really want to hang out and relax on those 2 days together. So I am going to bring like a little Whoop setup, but yeah, this is just a little quick reset, quick opportunity to reset my brain. If we stare at the batteries as they... Oh, weights. We need weights. What I was going to say is, do you think if we stare at the batteries, the kettle will boil faster? So... here we go. Dry weights on all 3 of these with the modifications. The modifications I've done, though, as far as I'm concerned, are like necessary modifications for the most part. Other than this singularity antenna. Happy model, Mobula6 2024. 18.43 grams. It's heavy because of this antenna. 18.4. Hummingbird V4. 18.7. I don't know what's heavy about the Hummingbird. Air 65 with plastic screws. It's going to be light. 16.87. So that's helping with the efficiency for sure. The newbie drone motors and the newbie drone 702 30,000s and the BetaFPV 702 27,000s, I think these are. They are very similar in efficiency, but the Air 65 is significantly lighter weight. Moss One, you're describing Atlanta as well, and or any major city I've ever been to or lived in. Come on, Bitefly, push harder on them batteries. I can't believe it was set to storage. What a jerk. Okay, they're all at 4.34, so I'm going to pull them off. Every single one of them is at 4.34. And they've all been on this charger for the exact same amount of time. So, there we go. These 3 batteries that I just ran, let's see what the voltages bounce back to. The Happy model ran the longest, and it is at 3.71. The Hummingbird, yeah, I knew it was going to be the case. 3.74. So the low battery is a little bit overactive or something in that CAC firmware, And then the Air 65, 3.71, just like the Happy model. So yeah, that is exactly what I thought. The Happy model motors are the most efficient. Even though this thing is almost 2 grams heavier than the Air 65, it still did more runtime. And the battery wasn't totally fresh. You're going to get to see more of this on these evened out batteries. Hummingbird, we kind of can't tell. I didn't run it quite. I should have run it a little bit longer. The battery is sitting at a higher voltage. And then the Air 65, it has all the lightness benefits, but the motors are not as efficient. But they do make great power. All 3 of these motors pretty much make the same amount of power. We're going to test that. We're going to do full throttle blast across the living room, and we're going to see what the RPM values are. So let me get 3 batteries loaded up, and then we can just back to back them. And we're going to do that RPM test first. I'm going to take them off, go right upstairs, and do that full rip RPM test. All 3 of these are on the exact same props. The higher the RPM, the better. Jesus Christ, what the hell? Happy model first. 3 batteries that are at 3.44. 4.44. 4.34. I did not swap the canopy out on the Air 65. It is stock. Man, if ELRS does not connect right away, just unplug the quad and do it again. If you accidentally turn your transmitter on after you've already plugged the quad in, just unplug the quad. Here we go. All right, here we go. Whoo, shit. Oh, God, I hit that wall hard. Sorry, family. Let's see what... But, I mean, that was a full... Don't you dare. Don't you dare, Betaflight. Oh my God, really? This is why nobody flies FPV. Right here. This is it. Oh my God. Oh my fucking God. Oh my God. I think that should turn it on. Brandon's Baked Beans recommending the web configurator. I don't know. When I used the web configurator way long ago, and then I stopped. It feels weird going back. Yes, CRPM maximum. There we go. Oh fuck! Is the Hummingbird not going to give me that data either? I think it does. All right, grabbing another battery. Another one of these 4.34 charged batteries. Let's do this again. Man, I took that in just that little bit of flight. I took that battery all the way down to 4.09. It's on the charger right now. In the cruise up the stairs, 33,833. Oh my god. That was the worst I've ever failed at that RPM run, and I didn't look at the RPM. Wow, it's sagging the shit out of this battery. This might be a bad battery. 58,666. Somebody write that in chat for me. 58,666. And did somebody happen to catch the RPM on the first rip that I bashed it into the wall? Now we're just going to fly. 2 full throttle rips, and then we fly. Yikes. The Happy Model motors, I find them in here. Oh, Teddy, you were in the worst possible spot. When I'm flying in here, in like the... Ooh, buddy boy! In like the 30 and 40% throttle range, they feel awesome. He learned to get the hell out of there. That's funny. Oops, nope. I went through one. That's it, though. Ah! So close. Hey! Oh! Not quite. Not quite. Oh my god, come on now. I can't do shit right now. Waiting for that low battery to be kind of constantly on. Dead hover 3.41. .40, that's what I want. There we go. 250. 2 minutes and 50. Right into the next one. 250. Hummingbird V4 up next. Here we go. And we're going to take straight off. There's a good look at each camera. These cameras are not adjustable. Oh, you son of a bitch, you. Man, this thing feels way different. Oh my god, it feels a lot slower, too. All right, let's see what that was. 55,358. That's close, isn't it? Were they just both 55,000 and change? This does not feel nearly as acceleraty. It felt like the Mobula 6 got up to a much higher speed. Nope, had to bail on that. Teddy, where you at? There you are. Ay, ugly. Ah, that was a hard hit. Oh my god, I am just useless right now. Oh boy, I can't do anything. I can't hit a single fucking trick. And... okay, a minute and 25, and we're... Alright, there's something going on with this rig. That's, that is way too low of a runtime. Or this battery. Hold on. I do need to back this thing off a little bit. Alright, we'll run another battery through this. I'm actually going to do another battery right now on this. With the tune backed off a hair. Maybe that'll help out. Or maybe this battery is shot. Alright, let's see. This is the heaviest, though. This is the heaviest, and it's not on magical, ultra-efficient Happy Model motors. So, you never know. But I don't think I've ever gotten runtimes that low with this thing. I think that's a bit much. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Are you fucking kidding me right now? Teddy. Teddy, oh my god, you're underfoot. You're always underfoot, dog. Always. Like, I'm gonna fall down and get really hurt one of these days because the dog is gonna be under my feet. Guaranteed. I guess I need to go upstairs for a proper runtime comparison. I need to do those full throttle rips. I need to do 2 of them. What could be happening, though, is that on these 2, with the less efficient, more powerful motors, not more powerful, well, they might be a little more powerful, but with the less efficient motors, they might be, like, way less efficient at full throttle. There we go. Oh, I thought I could slide backwards and then just kind of get out. That was super ambitious. Yeah, they might have more, they might be, like, super inefficient at full throttle. When Rosser tested efficiency, he didn't do it at, like, mega power. He did it at, like, similar to what, like, the cruising throttle would be. I've never really seen any tests of efficiency at full tilt. What? What the fuck is happening right now? Teddy! Jesus. It doesn't help that all 3 of these have different cameras and probably slightly different up tilt. But still. I still think I'm just flying like an idiot tonight. Look how much better the runtime is. Yeah, that battery was... I need to get rid of that battery, I think. Nah, we still got a little more. Oh, I got through that little gap with the wire again. Oh, Teddy. Yikes. Oh! 3.41. 3.41. 3.40. There it is. 3 minutes and 33, I think I'm seeing. 2 minutes and 33, rather. 2 minutes 33. So, less runtime. Not a ton, but less runtime. Where was that other battery that I ran? Is that this one? This battery ran terrible. It was this one. I'm actually getting rid of it. Air 65, last but obviously not least. Just Bright says you gotta try quick tapping your zildjians when you go by. They're pastes, and that's I forget to do that, but every once in a while I do it by accident, and then it reminds me to do it. Wait, no, I gotta go upstairs and do the full throttle run. Hopefully you guys are logging those RPMs, because I'm not. So this is now the CO3 camera. There's one. Oh, shit. Here comes two. That was kind of blown. But, let's see. 57,000. So I think... Were the other ones 55? I don't remember. 57,712. Hopefully you guys have been logging them in chat and you can see. This is the lightest rig. And that is immediately obvious when I start changing directions. Oh boy. Whoo! Very obvious when doing stuff like that too. That's a big direction change there. Power loops, you know, you roll a bunch of speed in, and then you change directions from going forwards to going backwards, right? We think of direction changes as just like left and right turns and whatnot, but, you know, it's much more than just that. None of these really feel like they have more power than the others. This one feels like it's significantly lighter. The lightness is also going to help with the accuracy, and which should help me hit things, hit tricks more often, not hit the environment that I'm in. Jesus Christ on a crutch. Get it together, dude. Ah, I am so not used to this being here. Oh my god, I wanted to go through the middle, but I suck. Let's go this way. Oh, you fart bag bastard! Why? Oh my god, really? The one thing I didn't want to do is have to go get it. During this testing, because you like blast. Whatever. It's fine. Oh my god, why? Low battery, but not solid on. .41, 3.42, 3.41, 42, 3940. 2 minutes and 50. So there you go. Less efficient motors, but almost 2 grams lighter. And so the weight savings made up for the motors being a little bit less efficient. Man, they fly super similar. Super similar. And you can do think... I put those other batteries on, but the charger wasn't charging. Oh my god. Mobula6 was 58,000. Wow, 58, 56, and 57. Mobula6, 58,000 and change. Hummingbird V4, 56. Air 65, 57. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Super similar. What's really insane is that the motors that are cranking the highest RPM are the most efficient motors, right? This thing is almost 2 grams heavier, and it's still giving us the same runtime. That's, you know, we knew this. We know this about the Happy Model motors. They're just magical mystery motors. It's wild to see that play out. Let's run. I'm not gonna have. Well, okay, so I've got 2 more batteries. That one's gonna charge up in the time that I fly this other one. And so we just did. Did we do 2 in a row on the Air 65? Let's give that a battery second, and we'll just talk about the results here, and why you would buy one of these over the others. As you can see, all 3 of them fly fantastic. If I had to pick one, I would pick the lightest weight one. You could do things to the Happy Model Mobula 6 to save weight, namely take this giant antenna off of it, right? So this thing's being handicapped a little bit by this antenna, but it's hard mounted. The AIOs on all 3 of these are way about the same. I don't know why the Hummingbird V4 is so heavy. The AIO is cut down a little bit. But yeah, this thing is still heavy. This is the heaviest of all 3 of these. Here's the long and short of it. Hummingbird V4 uses the non-standard motor plugs, so realistically, you're going to only want to swap on other newbie drone motors. These are kind of the best of the newbie drone motors. And so, Hummingbird V4 is for somebody that wants to work with newbie drone on repairs, troubleshooting, anything like that. Newbie drone is in California. Their customer service is good. The canopy that the Hummingbird V4 comes with is not my favorite, but these BriBrain mounts are free on Thingiverse. If you have a 3D printer, you can print them out. You're good to go. If you don't, I will sell you them. I have them in all the different colors. And so Hummingbird V4 is very cool. I love that it exists. Couple simple mods and you can save a bunch of weight. And then it just seems to work. So if you like newbie drone or you like dealing with companies that are in the US, Hummingbird V4. BetaFPV Air 65 is very lightweight. It also has the CO3 camera, which is great. Couple of simple mods, a better antenna. I mean, the one it comes with is fine, but this Micro V is a little bit better. Swap the propellers out, and just fly it. Bind it and fly it. The Air 65 frame is the most fragile. This one has not been flown much, so it is not broken back here yet, but it will break back here pretty quickly. So at some point with the Air 65, you'll have to repair or replace this frame. That's the thing I like the least about the Air 65. And so, but other than that, the motors are direct soldered. So let that be the reason that you don't screw around with this. The Air 65 is the rig that you buy to just fly it around. If you have to swap the motors out, it's more annoying than the newbie drone build. I would actually kind of rather have the Hummingbird V4, because if I want to swap the motors out to something, I can just swap these plugged motors out to other newbie drone motors, or if I want to go to a magical Happy Model motor, I just have to solder these non-standard plugs onto the Happy Model motors. In order to change the motors on the Air 65, you have to cut perfectly good plugs off of motors and then direct solder them, which is the same amount of work as the Hummingbird V4. So if you're going to upgrade, I would kind of rather upgrade the Hummingbird V4, because you're going to be able to put plugs onto the motors with the same amount of work, so that in the future, so that you can take the motors off and on without them being direct soldered. I hate direct soldered motors. Mobula 6 2024, you can make it lighter weight with a lighter antenna. This canopy camera setup is fairly lightweight. You can run this camera in the old school Happy Model upside down ball sack canopy, which is pretty cool. It's going to add a little bit of weight, but it's a super durable canopy. If you can find a Runcam Nano 3, you can direct solder that on and run that guy. With both of these, they're using camera plugs, but they're these ridiculous JST 0.8 camera plugs that use wires with PVC coating. It's super annoying. It's going to be annoying to change the cameras on either one of these. So just don't. The Air 65 uses the CO3 camera. That's arguably the best looking camera that there is. The Hummingbird V4 uses the BI camera, which is the BI camera. It's totally fine. It's not as good looking as the CO3, but it absolutely works. It's wide angle. It's nice. It's a totally fine camera. The Hummingbird, the Mobula6 2024 is like if you want to do upgrades, this is the one. You are going to have to direct solder the camera, which is a little bit annoying, but with these non-standard JST 0.8, not only are you going to have to direct solder this lead to your camera, you're going to have to do it with these stupid PVC coated wires. No, you know what? The Hummingbird V4 has pads, so you'll be able to direct solder a different camera to the Hummingbird V4. The BetaFPV probably has pads. Yeah, there's camera pads somewhere on here. Yep, there they are on the bottom. So all three of these things, the cameras that they come with are totally fine. This comes with the FXT camera. It's totally fine. All three of these things, if you want to upgrade the camera, you're going to be direct soldering. The 2G4 AIO uses a much more standard camera plug, which is my favorite, but we're not testing that here tonight. The motors use the standard plugs, so the Mobula6 2024 is light years easier to try different motors on or to replace motors. It comes with A30, which is awesome, just like the Air 65. The Hummingbird, you're going to have to change the motor plug. It comes with PH 2.0, which is just silly. This comes with the Mobula6 2024 frame, which is a little bit heavier than the Air 65 frame, but way more durable. So the Mobula6 2024 frame, in my opinion, is better than the Air 65 frame. The sacrifice is a little bit of weight. In my opinion, you should change it out to the Newbie Drone Cockroach V3 or Light AF frame. Don't change it out to the Light AF frame, come to think of it. This has a slightly longer USB port. The Mobula6 2024 belongs in the Hummingbird V3 frame. I think that's about everything. I think those are really the main points. McMucus says new Newbie Drone OSD chip probably causing the wait. So there is no new OSD chip. It's firmware. They've made the camera look better through the firmware. The Newbie Drone still uses a tiny little chip for the OSD, which is lighter. I don't know why the Hummingbird V4 is as heavy as it is. My guess is that it's the motors. My guess is that these Newbie Drone Hummingbird motors are a little bit heavier. Hummingbird V4 is the newest one. Let's fly another battery on that. And then this battery over here just hit 4.34, so it's at the exact same battery voltage as this one. And then, so this last battery, you guys have to tell me in a poll what you want it to be flown on. Start a poll. Which one? Mob6 2024. Air 65. There you guys go. You pick what the last battery gets flown on, but we're going to do the Hummingbird V4 because it's the new kid. Hold on. Nothing's turned on. Transmitter's not turned on. Goggles aren't turned on. Here we go. Hummingbird V4 with the Brain mount. Oh, so close. I'm going to talk a little bit less and just fly. Come on now. Oh, you fart. There we go. Oh, almost. Ah, didn't quite get that right. Tried to back it up down over here. Didn't quite get it right. Fly chill for a minute. Most cock-rock drum set and setup of drum gear you've ever seen. But when I played drums a lot, it was in the late 80s, early 90s. The cock-rock era. Fuck you! Ah! Why? No! Here, doggy trotting around over here. Damn son indeed. Oh, I couldn't get the elevation down. Look at the hover throttle up at like 40. I can feel it on the sticks. I think that's the delta winding versus WIE. 3.41, 3.40, 4041. Where are we at runtime wise? 2 minutes and 20. It's the heaviest, and it's on these motors that are less efficient, same as last time. Poll says Mobula6 2024. 60% to 40%. 15 votes. That's enough for it to be a real thing. Mobula6 2024, last battery. Unless these other batteries... Well, I'll do an Air 65 battery, but it won't be fully charged. It'll be at like 4.3 volts, it looks like. Let's see where these... I have 3 more batteries on the charger. But this is the last fully charged battery that I'm going to be able to run. My God, it hovers at so much lower of a throttle value, which is way more comfortable. I'm actually going to look at the throttle expo after this on that Hummingbird rig to make sure I have it set right. Ah! Teddy, relax, buddy. Oh, I clipped the wire and it let me keep going. Thank you for that. Oh! This rig with these 40,000 kV motors, it really... I tried to do that with a shorter throttle blast than I normally do. One of the things that I really noticed with these 40,000 kV motors is that, I swear to you, they wind up to a higher RPM. Even though they make the same power... Oh, damn, that was a hard-ass hit. Even though they make the same power, I swear to God, these... Well, I mean, we saw it in the RPM. You can feel that they turn that higher RPM. When you sit in full throttle, they just get to like a higher top speed. It's kind of hard to describe, but it's something that I've always felt with these 40,000s is that like they will just go faster. If BetaFPV got their hands on a set of these motors and they measured the KV in the same method that they measure KV, I'll bet you that these would run out to like 32,000 kV or something like that. But BetaFPV does not have motors that are that high of a kV. I think their max is 30 on the Champion Edition. But yeah, these Happy Model's method of measuring kV is different than everyone else. But as we saw again with the RPMs, these motors are getting up to a higher value. Oh my god, no! Oh, I got very lucky. Easy. Easy. Calm it down, little brother. Oh god. I'm not great at right-handed orbits. I'm trying to do it more and more. There we go. Whoa, boy. 3.41, 3.42, a little bit more. Oh, come on now. Get. 3.41, 3.40, close enough. 3 minutes and 15 seconds. That is the magic of Happy Model motors. They are just efficient as hell. It's really, really, really impressive. 4.31 volts on this battery going into the Air 65. This is going to be the last battery of the live stream. And then we'll talk for a minute afterwards because I see some chat comments. CO3 camera seems to be the darkest, but it looks good. It's just a good-looking camera. Oh, boy. Oh, you fartbag bastard. This will be the least durable of these three rigs. Wow, so look at my cruising throttle point. It's up high again. 35, 36, 36, 35, 34, 37, 36, 34, 33. Let me make sure it's set properly. 34 I'm seeing. 34. Come on, come on, come on. Go, go, go. Oh, I have the throttle expo turned off. Uh, 32, 34. There we go. I wonder why I had it turned off. I might never have turned it on. Yeah, both of these use a much higher throttle value. Oh, hey, also on the Air 65, you're gonna have that camera rotating in the mount problem. I think I glued this one. Yeah, I glued this one, so the camera is even. If you get an Air 65, get the camera rotated properly in the mount, and then E6000 it down, because otherwise the camera will rotate in the mount. It is absolutely maddening. Oh, I got lucky there, but my luck ran out. Oh, stop it. Stop it! Woo! Damn. All three of them are very fun to fly. This battery is not fully charged, so this is not a fair flight time comparison. But, I mean, I can do the same stuff with all three. They've got a very similar amount of power. They're similar in weight, other than they're not similar in weight. The Air 65 is significantly lighter weight. The Mobula6 would be a lot closer in weight without that silly antenna. But the Air 65 is going to be the lightest, period. It's also going to be the most fragile. Specifically the frame. The frame on the Air 65 kind of sucks, as far as I'm concerned. I meant to go through that Meant to go through the newbie drone gate, but I didn't. Oh my god. Fuck! 2 minutes and 34 seconds on a not fully charged battery. It was pretty close, though. It was whatever I said it was. 3 point... Teddy! He straight up took a bite out of it on that one. What has gotten into you? There you go, friends. Let me get caught up on chat. You can't go wrong with either three. I think that if you want to do lots of upgrades, you should get the Mobula 6 2024. If you want the newest, freshest, funnest thing, it's the Hummingbird V4, and it's really inexpensive. Let's talk about money. $80 on pre-order. Christ, I don't even know what the other two cost. Air 65. BetaFPV. Mob 6 2024. Mobula 6 2020. Oh, well, now is not a great time to look at prices. Wow. Thanks a lot. Thanks a fucking lot. 130 bucks on AliExpress. Let's go by AliExpress. Oh wait, no, this is the HD01. This is the HD01. Oh, good. AliExpress pricing. Well, this is on sale. Oh man. Is it on sale? $95? Is the Air 65 that cheap? I'll be damned. Air 65, it looks like 95 bucks. Mobula 6 2024 is looking like 114, 115, call it. So $20 extra. $20 extra. It comes with a frame that is much more durable than the Air 65 frame. It comes with motor plugs. Hummingbird V4 is the absolute value winner. 80 bucks is amazing. And I have smashed the shit out of this thing. And it has really put up with quite a bit of abuse. It comes with the best of the frames, right? All three of these are going to come with different frames. The Hummingbird V4 comes with the best of the frames, unquestionably. You know, the prices work out to be just about right. For an absolute total beginner, the Hummingbird V4 is awesome because you can talk to Newbie Drone in California about your problems, trying to get up in the air, breaking it, replacing stuff. The motors are on plugs, so you can buy their replacement motors and plug them right in, and you're good to go. So for the new people, Hummingbird V4. One step up from that is the Air 65. Can't swap the motors without direct soldering to itty-bitty little pads. So this is for somebody that's not a total beginner. They want something that's a little bit lighter. It's going to be more fragile, unfortunately. Again, good for people that have been flying a little bit more. And resist the urge to upgrade it because direct soldering motors sucks. And then like the same experience level to like forever, Mobula 6 2024. You can upgrade it very easily. Regular motor plugs. It's the most expensive. You're paying for the ability to kind of upgrade it, I guess is one way to think about it. And it comes with a frame that's better than the Air 65, but you still do want to frame swap it. So yeah, Mobula 6 2024 is for the upgraders. There you go. Let me end this poll. Oh, the Air 65 ended up pulling ahead in the end of that poll. Let me get caught up on chat, and then we'll shut this down. Alejandro Gonzalez says, would I be able to change the Hummingbird V4 frame to a liteaf frame without the USB issue? Yes, they use the shorter USB port on the Hummingbird V4, so you absolutely could. Yep. And that would save weight. So Hummingbird V4 totally upgraded would be the light AF frame to save a little bit of weight. and then the switch the canopy out. And you should be able to get the Hummingbird V4 down to roughly the same weight as these guys. Good question, brother. Danzilla the Terrible says, poor Maggie getting involved with the drummer. Her parents must be furious. Just Bright says, you should get some PLA Air from Bamboo and print a frame. I do need to get some kind of a hard filament. I haven't figured out what I'm going to get yet, though. Frank Nicholas says, Tarun, if you want Ciotti to see your post, just use his full name. Scrolling up. Tarun says, Ciotti, could you tell us how much does each drone would cost and your mods, with your mods? There you go. Oh, with the mods. Interesting. Mobula6 2024 has a $40 set of motors on it. That's this one. And the antenna, don't do this antenna. The run with the regular antenna. And that's it. Couple bucks for the frame swap. But, you know, kind of is what it is. Yeah, $40 set of motors added on to the Mobula6 2024. Air 65 is stone stock. I do have a micro V antenna, but that doesn't matter. You don't have to run that. Stone stock. Hummingbird, 3D printed canopy, and that's it. Oh, and a battery lead. So yeah, the only real upgrades on these things are the motors that I threw at the Mobula6 2024. You don't have to do that, but out of the box, the motors on this are going to be less powerful than both of these. But the motor plugs are really, for me, the main thing that makes the Mobula6. For me, it's the Mobula6 2024 because it's got regular motor plugs and it's super fun to change motors and try different motors and all that. It's, you know, I like the camera, I like the canopy. You can upgrade to the upgrade or downgrade or old grade or whatever to the old school canopy, which is like indestructible. Yeah, Mobula6 2024 is my preference out of these three. But all three of these do things better than the others, but very, very subtly. So we got that. You guys are talking about guar. Jesus Christ. That brings me back. Cole Power says, Air 65 started at $95. That's a good deal. Frank Nicholas says, AliExpress and other China sellers, buyer you will have to pay the tariff tax before it will be allowed to be delivered into the country. Ooh, that's brutal. I didn't even think about that. Frank Nicholas says, Blue Sky and the package will be delayed because there aren't enough workers to manage tariff tax charges. Oh, yeah, great. What could go wrong? Cole Power says, I swear companies should just sell an unactivated product for $1 and then remaining cost license to activate it. Tax the dollar. The rest is digital. Interesting. Striker says, grabbed Matrix and a pinch cam before Tiny runs out of stock. Nice. Super X AIO is already $90, unfortunately. Is it really? Jesus. Tarun says, thank you. You're certainly welcome. Cole Power says, you weight it. The Hummingbird V4 with a TPU canopy. Mine is 18 grams all up weight. Nice. Yeah, I weight it as it sits here with the Bri-Brain canopy. There we go. And I think that about does it. Let me scroll up and chat real quick, make sure I didn't miss anybody. Nope, we're good to go. Thanks for hanging, friends. Hopefully you learned something. All three of these are awesome. If you're a super tuner, Mobula6 2024. If you're a little bit experienced and don't want to screw around, Air 65, or if weight is the only thing that matters, Air 65. I held up the Hummingbird when I meant to hold up the Mobula6 2024. Hummingbird V4, $80, crazy deal. Awesome being able to troubleshoot with Newbie Drone, but you're gonna have to swap the canopy out. The canopy that the Hummingbird comes with is awful heavy, and you're gonna have to swap the battery lead out. So yeah. Pluses and minuses, but three amazing tiny whoops that you will love flying. If you're gonna put runtime as high up on your list of priorities, Mobula6 2024, the motors that it comes with will give you probably like 5 minutes up in the air on a battery. Super efficient motor that it comes with. It's like a Happy Model 0702 28,000, I think. It still makes good okay power. Significantly less than these two, but mega runtime. If runtime is what you're after, Mobula 6 2024. The motors that it comes with are ultra efficient, and then you can just easily swap in these 40,000s from Weebleed, and they're still mega efficient, but have more power than these other two. So yeah, again, for me, it's the Mobula 6 2024. Thanks for hanging, friends. I love every single one of you. CiottiFPV.com if you like this kind of content and you want it to continue, because the only way that I do that is from lovely viewers like you. Join my Patreon. It's the best way you can support me. It's only $3 a month. That's 10 cents a day, and you get a ton of benefits. Yeah, not a whole lot of money, and it'll let me keep saving you money, which is going to become more and more important, it's looking like. So help me help you, my friends. I'll see you on Friday at 7 o'clock Eastern. On the beginning of the live stream, by the way, that was flight footage from the RunCam Nano 3 chase rig. Here's the CO3 camered chase rig for the outro. So if you want to look at the difference between those two cameras, rewind all the way back to the beginning, and you'll see what a RunCam Nano 3 looks like. Or the computer will just continue to shit its pants. This is the SSD drive. This SSD drive is in this new OWC enclosure that keeps spinning the drives up and down. And it's just, I double clicked. There it is. Jesus Christ. The SSD might be fast, but if the enclosure just randomly connects, and it's not randomly connecting and disconnecting, it's just, I don't know why it's spinning the drives up and down and up and down and up and down, but it's making it run really slow. Goodbye.